Dave, commiserations after that on a real disappointing night in the FA Cup.
Yeah, everyone keeps saying commiserations. I suppose that says you feel sorry for what's happened. I don't feel sorry because I've been managing for 14 years and I can count on one hand the times I've been embarrassed by my team's performance, and tonight is one of them. That was nowhere near good enough, and it's a huge worry and a huge concern because we've got a big 3 weeks ahead of us, 5 games against, without being disrespectful, better sides than Aldershot, before we can bring in bodies, and based on what I've seen tonight, we need to bring in plenty of bodies.
What was it particularly that caused that embarrassment?
Miles off it. Absolutely miles off it. I came here 2 years ago, and I can quite happily say I've never been this angry. I get frustrated, I've never been this angry. I have no issue with players' performances if we see our identity out there on the football pitch. Now, we as a group ran over National League teams 2 years ago, 18 months ago. Some of the players out there played in that National League title winning side. Some of the same players out there played tonight and were nowhere near it. We're miles off it. And that's a worry. That's a worry. Because in terms of personnel coming back, things aren't going to change. It probably now highlights for people that watch the game the importance of other players within our team, other players that aren't currently in the team, that maybe from supporters get the stick and get grief and get all them things. But let's be real. When people are out the team, that's when you potentially see how important they are to it, and that couldn't have been highlighted more, not just tonight, over the recent past.
There was a lack of creativity too in the second half as well. I don't think there was a shot registered on target really, no real opportunities too, which is a worry.
There was a lack of everything. There was a lack of wanting to get on the ball. There was a lack of wanting to pass the ball. There was a lack of wanting to run forward and catch the play up. Like I say, even if you're playing forward, and we didn't play forward with much quality, it was a front two and 8 players and a goalkeeper behind them trying to catch the play up. We were, like I say, so far off it in every facet that it becomes difficult to point to individual things that have to improve. Every single part of our game needs to improve in 2 days, 3 days time, or we get beat by Sutton here on Saturday. And that's the truth. I'm not going to hide behind things. I'm not going to try and, if things aren't good, I'll tell people that. And maybe that's from a management perspective. That's maybe something I need to be better at. That's not me. I'll tell the players. I'll tell the players the same. That is as bad a performance as there's been since I've been at this football club, and they need to know that, and we have to react from that. No doubt it'll be our job in the morning as a staff to sort of try and get round them and get them up. They need to look at themselves as professionals. That's nowhere near, not just from an individual perspective, as what we are as a team, as what we are as a club, of what we've become, and that really hurts.
We've spoken before about players when they cross that line having to take the responsibility on that pitch, and there were several times, particularly in the second half, where you could see not necessarily anger, but definitely conversations between all of them, between Paddy Madden, between Witter, between Callum Camps as well, just looking for that urgency, looking for them to obviously take the responsibility, which isn't obviously something we see too much, particularly on the incredible run that you went on.
You'll potentially see more from the side, from higher up. I didn't see enough of that, if I'm honest. Football's moved on in terms of what it looks like. Players are not the type that ultimately turn around and tell people the truth, tell the teammates the truth when things haven't gone well. Probably long gone are the times when there'll be dressing room fracas, shall we say, and people holding people to account. It's not done enough. The one thing I would say tonight is there weren't any that could turn around and say, hang on, I'm doing my job, what about you doing yours? And that's from, like I say, everywhere on the pitch. Nobody comes out of tonight's game with any credit, and we've got to take that. Like I say, the concern is that in the main I've got to ask that team, that 10, 11 to roll out again on Saturday, because what we've got behind it isn't pushing it hard enough, and what we've got behind it isn't staking a claim to get in the team even when they come on the pitch. Go and affect it? No, not for me. So without giving too much away, we'll pick a team on Saturday of fit players, try and organise a system, and know that you're playing against a team that are going to be direct, they're going to play it back to front, they're going to ask you questions. More than ever, I'd suggest I'm really happy that we're playing here. So people might see that as a negative, and the fact that something potentially come and frustrate, and the crowd then get a bit edgy. We need the supporters more than anything. This group, like I say, we've got to try and get them together and get them going in 3 days' time. But we'll need that end, especially giving us everything they've got, because the players need to show more, absolutely, but they might need a little bit of help to do that.
Do you give Aldershot any credit in that game? They came up here, they set up strong, obviously had the physical presence up top as well, Tawaj. How much credit can they take from tonight?
No, listen, they've won the game. They maybe shouldn't have been in the game based on the first leg. They played exactly the same team as they did on last Saturday. They played in exactly the same manner. They caused us problems in the first game. We caused them probably more problems in the first game. We can look at it and say, we, I suppose, went with a system that should suit us and give us a spare man in the middle of the pitch. But if you don't pass to that man or find the man with the ball, and the people in the middle of the pitch don't want the ball, then that becomes irrelevant in how you play the game of football. So they've done nothing different than what they did in the first game. They performed at a level that was good enough to give them an opportunity in the first game, and won the game in the second game. I think the goal probably says everything you need to know about what our performance was. Shambolic.
Onto some of the injuries. Obviously, you mentioned how sort of threadbare the squad is at the moment. Macaulay came off injured. How's he? Is that anything serious?
Again, a kick on the foot at the end of the first half. So we just have to see how he is tomorrow. Obviously, it's a quicker turnaround than normal between the games. So we're a little bit in the dark. It doesn't look a serious one that you'd say, oh, he's definitely going to be out for the weekend, but it's a little bit of a random one because it's not happened in a specific incident that's then caused him a problem. It's a little bit of a, like I say, a kick on the foot that's meant the area around his ankle in different places is a little bit sore. So we just have to see how he reacts. It's a quick turnaround. We'll know more in the morning.
Okay, thank you.